Hi, this is Rachel Scott. I'm here with Alfredo Mireles, who is the UC Regent. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Now, you mentioned that you've been to 8 campuses so far. What has been the initial reaction from all 8 campuses after giving this presentation?
That's a great question. The initial reaction is we need to come back more. We need to hear more about this information, and students definitely need to be in a better position to help the Regents make the decisions that they're making.
Now, you also mentioned that you don't want to be the bearer of bad news for the students here at the UCs, but what hope do the students have?
That's fair. Well, frankly, I mean, the students are, without sounding trite, the students are our only hope. You know, this is where the animated energy is to make change. Frankly, at the Board of Regents, it's a bunch of people who are committed to the status quo, who are, are willing to go along with these awful decisions. It's only people in this room that have the audacity and tenacity to make those changes. So I'm, kind of representing one world and hoping to get inspired by this world.
How can students get more engaged?
So that's a great question. And, there's no one answer, right? So here's the answer. So it starts with wherever they're most comfortable at advocating, right? So Jonathan and I, we put on suits, we work with the Regents, even though it can be challenging sometimes, but that's only one part of advocating for students. If you feel more comfortable going to the state capitol and having a rally, go do that. If you feel more comfortable lobbying your chancellor, go do that. If you feel more comfortable protesting outside of the district office of a state assembly member or state senator, do that. If you feel more comfortable writing an op-ed article in your school newspaper, do that. It's not the means of communicating the student message, it's that everybody's doing it in a way that they're most comfortable with, that they're most passionate about, and they feel they can be the most persuasive with.
What immediate advice do you have for students that are currently paying these high tuition fees?
Immediate advice is, gosh, that's a great. When it comes to fees, it's so challenging to at times remember that this is one part of our lifespan, right? I'm a little bit older, so and I know there's immediate concerns with paying tuition, but make sure you enjoy college while you're here, if that's still possible, considering how high tuition is. You're going to meet some of the most amazing people while you're here at UC Irvine. You're going to have access to the most interesting information. So don't lose sight of the awesome opportunities you have if it's at all possible to not be stifled by all the bad news concerning tuition.
Now, the master plan initially of the UCs was to make tuition free for students. With your remaining time in office, what is your plan to essentially get back to the basics and cut down tuition?
That's a good goal. I mean, as we just talked about in our presentation, unfortunately, I don't know if that's a path that's realistic, because we continue to have tremendous cost pressures on the university. And if we want to maintain a high-quality university that's accessible to as many students as possible, having free tuition does not seem to be as part of the plan moving forward as much as I would wish it to be. And frankly, as pissed off as it makes me, because the people who went to school 20 years ago, 30 years ago, practically got a free education. And now they're not willing to pay more taxes for this generation to go to school. I find that preposterous. I find that immoral. And I wish it wasn't the case. That's why we need to take this message to the voters, to the people who continue to vote down revenue measures, and make sure that we communicate that students today deserve the same opportunities that students 20 years ago had.
Well, thank you so much for being here and for that presentation.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, and Zot.